Hi, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing good. Today I'm going to review Clinique Even Better Skin Foundation. This retails for $40 Canadian, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this foundation. I used this couple of times before. This really looks good on my skin, so thought of sharing my thoughts on this foundation to you. The packaging is really amazing. It's a squeeze tube, and it's very lightweight, it's sleek. It will be really ideal for travel. You don't have to worry about heaviness, or you don't have to worry whether the bottle will break. It's really good. And let's see how it applies on my skin. So before starting, I'll let you know the shade I'm using, and today I'm using the shade CN90 Sand M. But this is not my correct shade. If I had purchased this, I would have gone one shade darker, but it doesn't look anything different or anything more grayish in person. It looks really good. It looks really skin like, but one shade darker also will be looking good on my skin tone. That's what I would say. Let's see how this looks when I apply and how it blends. Okay, I pull my hair away from my face. Let's get started. First, let's prep my face. So I always use Laneige eye cream underneath makeup. Keeps my under eyes hydrated. And then for my lips, I'm using lips flipping mask from Laneige. And once that is done, let's get into the face. For my face, I'm going to use Enjolish today. This moisturizing as well, so I always prefer this underneath foundations. This is a nice moisturizer and also acts as primer. Immediately skin feels much cooling. So once that is done, let's leave this for a couple of minutes, and then let's start with our makeup. So today I'm going to use NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the shade 2.6 Walnut. I always switch between color corrector and the darker concealer to conceal my darkness. I target areas where I have to conceal it. I'm using a duo fiber brush so that it doesn't, it gets spreaded evenly. It doesn't become a layer. I'm going to mostly focus on the areas where I have to, I'm focusing the areas where I need the extra coverage, since the foundation is light to medium coverage. On this side as well. And I'm going to apply this around my mouth as well, where I have a lot of pigmentation going on. So concealer is done. Now let's jump into the foundation.
The consistency is quite creamy but doesn't feel heavy. It almost felt nothing on the skin when I used before, and when you see on camera, the shade looks very light, but it doesn't look as bad as it looks on camera and in person. Since this is gifted, I couldn't change the shade, but few minutes later it gets blended to the skin, and it doesn't look odd in person. This foundation has SPF of 15 and it claims to hydrate and smooth the skin. I totally agree, it feels hydrated throughout the day. But regarding a smoothing, it also depends on how textured our skin is on that particular day. When I used before, it didn't accentuate my pores, it didn't accentuate my texture. Since I have very dry skin, my skin is like quite textured in some of the areas, like around my nose, around my mouth, it is very textured, but it didn't accentuate any of those textured areas. That is a good sign. Usually the hydrating foundations tend to enhance my textures, but that doesn't happen in this foundation. You can see this is how it looks after one layer. I'm kind of building up a little on the areas where it is needed, but it doesn't, you cannot add any coverage to it. It gets blended into the skin. Brush I am using today is MAC 170 foundation brush. I am mostly stippling the product rather than dragging. This foundation is very easy to blend. I didn't put a lot of effort in blending, and once this is all nicely blended into the skin, I am using Colourpop Pretty Fresh concealer to highlight the high points of my face, mostly underneath my eyes and along the bridge of my nose, forehead, cupid's bow and chin. And also using a beauty blender, I am blending it into the skin. Once the concealer is nicely blended, I am using Kosas Cloud Set powder in the shade Pillowy. This is such an amazing powder which only sets the makeup, not taking the shine away, and it doesn't make your skin feel dry, and also it blurs out anything underneath eye. It kind of smooths the skin. Once lightly setting the face, I am using core bronzing powder in the shade Tuscan to bronze my face. Once bronzing is done, I am using my blender to smooth the edges to make it more seamless. For blush, I am using Clinique blush in the shade 10 Fake Pop. This blush has some metallic shine to it, which is not overly glittery or overly dewy. This but gives a good healthy shine in the skin, and I really like the shade. Once blush is done, I am using NYX brow pen and filling the sparse areas in my brows. For shadow, I am using L'Oreal Color Queen in the shade Fighter 12 and Danisa Myricks Color Fix creams in the shade Ballerina to highlight the lids. I am using my fingers to blend this all. Once eyeshadows are done, I'm using Auric Glow Lust in the shade Citrine to highlight the face. This product can be used upon makeup or underneath the makeup. This also keeps the skin hydrated and it gives a subtle glow to the skin, which I always prefer. I don't like my highlighters to be overly highlighted. I'm using the same product to my brow bone as well. It gives a subtle glow and keeps highlighted and also hydrated at the same time.
My eyes and brows are done. Now I'm going to line my lips using MAC liner in the shade Chestnut. for lips, and for lipstick I'm going to use NYX Soft Matte Cream in the shade Stockholm. A finished look, and the makeup looks absolutely good. This foundation did not accentuate my pores, and it didn't blur out anything. My skin looks like skin, like my natural skin peeks through this foundation. But the good thing is it looks, you know, really natural. I don't feel anything on my skin. It looks really natural. And also I mostly gravitate towards, you know, foundations which are not completely matte. First I thought this would be like completely matte foundation, but it is not. It's not overly dewy as well. Even if you have oily skin, you can really use this foundation. This foundation makes my skin looks healthy. It gives enough glowy, not too much of glowiness to the skin. It gives that enough glowiness where the skin doesn't look oily. It looks, you know, it has that healthy glow, that natural glow within glow. It's something, this foundation is something like your skin but better, that type of foundation, and that's what I always gravitate towards in a foundation. Only I prefer concealer to be full coverage, but my foundation to be on the medium scale. I definitely recommend this foundation if you have dry skin or oily skin or any skin type. This is such a nice foundation to use for a daily use. Yeah, that's all about this foundation. I really liked it. Hope you all like this video. Thank you for watching my video, and if you like this, do like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.